Beauty from Ashes. Welcome back. This program is not meant to be a show or a program. It's meant to be the mission of a person trying to inspire, motivate, and give resilience and power to many who those may feel that life is not fair on them. Sarah's life has not been easy, although she had everything going on for her. All of a sudden, she, worldly way, lost everything. But she actually didn't lose everything because she has everything, God. And the way she speaks of God like a companion in a journey, not someone in heaven. Someone who feels her pains and sufferings, not just the Almighty who is in charge of the universe. A personal presence. This episode, I would like to ask her, how is beauty from ashes? Thank you again for being here. Sarah, are you still going through surgeries? I know you had 50 or more. Are you still, what's your condition now?
After the 50 surgeries, I had multiple other surgeries, like 20 plus. Just the one for the walking, it took 20 surgeries.
To make the prosthesis?
Because each one had a few surgeries.
I see. Any surgeries for your left arm or neck?
This is, now we're done with this.
So this is physical therapy only?
Yeah, training and physical therapy.
Okay. So how this tragedy, experience, if you don't want to call it tragedy, how did reform you or affected you positively for the future?
This journey definitely taught me patience and put new perspective in everything in life. Changed a lot of things in life. Whether it's my marriage, my kids, my service, everything changed. Everything had a message in it. They always say that, like, going through these things it affects, the couples, especially if you're married, and somehow I felt like it helped our marriage be stronger, and we became more connected. We had more time together. With my kids, I felt like I always used to talk about not having enough time with them and working too much. And now I see, and I'm more concentrated with them, spending more time with them. I understand them better. I used to just get frustrated when they fight or they argue. And now, because I'm paying more attention to what's happening, I can see which one of them has some things that need to be adjusted, and we can have time to talk about it. And again, like to me, that's a huge turnaround point than if we just kept on the roller coasters of being carried away with life and not concentrating on the priorities in life. I don't know where we will be now, So the blessing is that at one point I was very frustrated, and I actually prayed, and I put a verse from 1 Corinthians that says, walk by faith even if you cannot see. That was the last post I put before the accident. Seriously? And I was going through really I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave work, but I don't want to stay at home. I told him, please pick for me what you want me to do. And his answer was tough. tough. But at the end, I could tell you, after now, this is the 7 years now. I could tell you that I've experienced all the way that he wants, and it's so much better than what I would have picked for myself. that just having to experience his hand in every single moment with every aspect of my life, it gives me strength to say that you know, tough times and tribulations are there, but you will come out of it stronger than what you were before. If you focus on the right, put your heart with the right and mind on him and in his word for comfort.
Many people, when they go through troubles, afflictions, they go through divorce, alcohol, depression, antipsychotics, antidepressants. They lose their jobs. 7 years after, and you lost significant organs, what do you tell those who lost major things in their life or major people in their lives?
For everything that we lose, that we have some connection to it. So we, of course, everybody doesn't want to go through things like that. But God compensates. I don't know how to explain it in a way, but what I got is so much more than what I lost.
Wow.
And it's funny because even me saying it this way, I don't know how to put it into words and send that message to people that when you experience that, you don't know that until you go through the journey. In the beginning, it's dark. There's dark moments and there's tough moments. But as you go through that journey, this is when you're going to see that resurrection at the end. But there's that suffering in the beginning that happens. And the way that we take it is, I think a lot of people end up choosing to give in to that gray zone, and to think that this put a big X on their life and say this is the most miserable thing that could ever happen, and there's no way anybody else is going through this. And personally, honestly, even though everything that I went through, it's so complicated and so massive and so mind-boggling that I never even saw somebody wearing prosthetic legs before I went through this. I didn't even know that was something, Yani. But the people, there's people that are going through a lot of hard things, but they're not visible. At least my wounds are visible. Everybody sees me on the chair and they see my struggles. But the harder ones is the one that keep those struggles inside and to themselves.
Yeah.
And those don't have to be, you don't have to keep them for yourself. There is a healing that's above, that's very close to you, and that can heal those wounds that are inside that nobody can see.
Sarah, in early 1917 versus Sarah in 2023. Where are the similarities and where are the differences? Where did you grow in spite of what you lost?
So the similarities is that a lot of people, they tell me that, like I went to visit family in Egypt and they never saw me after the accident, but they knew me before the accident. So in their words, they say like, you're just the same. You're talking with the same way and you're doing everything. We didn't expect you to be like that. So the little things that, the taking care of things, we adjusted to doing. Yes, it's in a different way. Yes, I look different now, but those are the things that stays, is that God is able to make me handle the things that I was able to do before,
Yeah.
which is a huge blessing. And the difference is like I said before, that now I have a new vision about life.
Yeah.
Now I'm wearing different kinds of sunglasses to help me go through the stuff that's the new stuff,
Right.
and the things that are ahead. And I'm hopeful that maybe right now, honestly, the full purpose of what God wants me to do, I still don't have it yet. But I do see that there's a lot of things that happened, that a lot of people lives around me that changed, and that are looking at me to see how I'm gonna keep handling this for inspiration, yeah. But at the same time, it might take time, but I know for sure that he has a big purpose of what he wants me to do.
They always say there is light at the end of the tunnel. But after speaking with you many hours, I felt like you have seen the light from the beginning of the tunnel. You didn't wait for the end of the tunnel to see light. And for those who are in the bottleneck and they are still very dark and very gloomy and very desperate and frustrating, you always have focused on the light from day one.
Because I couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do anybody to do it by themselves.
So basically, your main message for those who are looking for some little tinge of light, look for Christ from the beginning.
Even when it's the times that you feel the words that you speak, the prayers that you say out loud, this is all stuff that is changing how you think and how you view, and asking for God's help. Like at the moment that I decided I'm going to change my complaining of the pain and thank God, at that moment, it was literally because it was just a trial. Maybe it wasn't even like fully from the bottom of my heart, but I said it.
Yeah.
And guess what? It worked.
Yeah.
And that proves to you that he keeps his promises. He keeps every single one of them, and he doesn't change. He's not gonna do this with me and not do this with you. He does the same thing with everybody. Every single one of his promises is true. And it's just sometimes we forget it. We forget it because the devil is so smart about controlling our minds and taking control of how we view things. And if you let him, then of course, then you give God no chance to help you.
Yeah.
So it's a decision, personal decision.
Sarah, I know you said in some other episodes that you like to serve those who are afflicted. Give me the scope of what you do. Say a mom, she is crying because of a major trouble in her life, called you. Are you okay with that first, if someone reached out to you?
Yes, in the beginning of this journey, I used to feel like I'm unequipped. And I used to always ask God, I said, if you want me to help people that are coming to me with these stories and there might not be people that I knew very much.
Yes.
These are like just people that just knew me from church, maybe, but or friends or coworkers, and I felt like I was unequipped for it. So at first, it used to kind of like I used to have a big question mark about what am I supposed to say, what am I supposed to do. But little by little, I took some courses in mental health coaching and things like that, and I tried to kind of stay educated with some degrees in these last 7 years that was Christian based to help me understand a little bit about how to send the message. But at the end of the day, I realized that sometimes people need somebody to listen to them.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't want you to give them all your advice, do step 1, 2, 3. They just want a listening ear that feels them and tells them, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that you're feeling that way. There is healing, and there is a cure for everything that happens. There's nothing on the face of the earth that's not fixable, and nothing that you can't overcome.
So much beauty came from this. I don't want to call it tragedy after I heard you, from this experience. And I don't think I'm the only one who sees the beauty. I think the first one who knew the beauty was God. And I think for sure, he picked the right person to bear a cross or many crosses like the ones you have. I know when Christ resurrected, he's resurrected with wounds of the cross. And it seems to me you're also resurrecting with the wounds of the cross. And I think that by itself is a testimony for everyone who goes through a trouble, affliction, a major trial, because they see your wounds and then they see your strength and they know that God has to be praised. And I'm very grateful for the time you spent with me and with everybody.
I always call it now, not my accident, my blessing, because I really feel like I'm not deserving of the huge blessing that came out of this big tragedy. And before, I wouldn't have been able to say the same thing or to explain or to understand anything. So I just hope that somehow I was able to get the words out to explain, but the feeling is actually so much more than any words that I can express.
Thank you very much. I don't have enough words.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry.
Beauty from ashes. I am sure you enjoyed every word. I was just trying to expose a soldier of Christ who carried the cross very valiantly and victoriously and continues to be joyful, humble, and willing to help others carry their crosses. And I can tell you, just by her words or her prayers, I know she can heal many, because I know God is using her more than many of us who walk and have a third limb to function with. She may have been crippled in the eyes of the world, but in the eyes of God, she is a queen, she is a jewel, and she is a person who carries the heart of God. She goes around to tell them, trust in His grace, trust in His hope, and He will never fail you. Beauty from ashes. Thank you.